Hi.
How's it going? I'm Tom.
I'm Bach.
Tom.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
and of course,
Slush.
we have Slush.
That's why we got the big couch.
You guys have to share this, but get it really close to your mouth.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. That looks familiar.
Oh,
Yeah.
fellow Watch Brothers.
Can they see that? Got the same exact one, too.
Cool. There you go. Well, very cool. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell us about your projects?
Yeah.
All the way
Yeah,
in.
perfect.
Yeah, really got it. Yeah.
So I'm Slush, and I'm founder of the first Bitcoin mining pool, Slushpool, back in 2010. And later in 2013, I helped found the first hardware wallet called Trezor.
And my name is Bach, and I work with Slush in Trezor. I'm the community manager and work with PR and marketing.
Very cool. So great to have both of you here, especially since you founded Trezor and you founded Slushpool. We talked to the current CEO of Slushpool yesterday. He told us all about how it's a mining pool and how miners share their resources and mine together to then share the reward. So that's very cool. Is there anything you guys have planned for the future? Is there anything new coming up with Slushpool?
Yeah, of course, we have some internal projects, but it's not public yet, so sorry.
Secret information, we can't get that out yet. So how about Trezor? Do you have anything new happening with Trezor?
We actually have the new Trezor device, the Trezor 2, coming out really soon. Hopefully it's gonna be available at the end of this year already.
All right, and what kind of new features are on the Trezor 2?
Yeah, there are two kind of new features. One is like physical changes. So now we heard the feedback of our users, and we added a bigger, colorful touchscreen.
Sure.
So
touchscreen, fantastic.
Yeah. So it will be much easier to interact with the hardware, and also we added a micro SD slot, which will be it won't be used on the beginning. The firmware doesn't use the slot anyhow still, but in the near future. We have big plans with the storage directly in Trezor, encrypted storage.
Excellent. So I know Trezor was one of the first hardware wallets to have a little screen, which was really important because you could develop the seed offline. The Ledger always had a bit of a legacy system there on the early Ledger. They do have one with a screen now. But that's been really good to store Bitcoin in, and now Ethereum and other altcoins. What other coins does Trezor store?
Yeah. Back to the screen. One of the biggest advantage of the bigger screen is that it will be possible to enter the PIN directly on the device, and also do full seed recovery directly on the device without leaking any information, any private information on to the computer. So this is a big advantage compared to the first version. And the question about the coins. The second advantage of the new Trezor is the software stack, which is not visible from the first look, but we completely reworked the way how Trezor works internally, and we think about Trezor as a not about as a product, but as a platform.
Yeah.
And we are working on the stack, on the framework, which will be more open for third-party developers to develop any new coins, or support for new coins, or even not crypto use cases for Trezor on their own. So of course we still have some main development, like adding new coins. So far we are working, for example, on Monero right now. But as the cryptocurrency space is growing bigger and bigger, we are unable to catch with every new project. So we hope that in the near future we will have the independent community, like independent developers, will be able to produce applications and firmwares directly for the Trezor itself.
Certainly, we've talked a lot about the Bcash hard fork and how that was a socialized cost for exchanges. All the exchanges, especially Trezor and Ledger, the other hardware wallets, had to really hustle to get that out to their users. They had to test it, they had to prepare it, they had to release it. Everyone wanted it right away. Some sold early, some sold in the middle, some sold later. But what's your stance on hard forks going forward? If we keep having these splits, obviously we have the potential 2x split, we have got the BitGold coming up.
Of course, all these forks are huge costs for us. And for example, because of the Bitcoin Cash, where we had some problems with implementing it, we had to postpone other development, which I see as more important than adding some minor altcoin.
Sure.
So these are direct impacts of the fork wars, and myself, I'm kind of Bitcoin maximalist, but
in a welcome company here. Yeah, we get that a lot. They say it's an insult, but I just say, oh, we're going to be right in the future, and you're going to be wrong. So,
but of course, as a Trezor as a product is trying to be as much neutral, and I'm trying to hide my own preferences on and don't impact the product itself. So of course, in similar way as we supported Bitcoin Cash from day 2, to be honest, it wasn't since day 1, but since day 2. We will try to support any other forks, some more significant forks, because we want our users to be to freely use the
Well, sure. If you're storing your coins in Trezor and you want your free money, they're going to come asking even if you don't want to give it. So it's definitely going to be an outlay of developer time. And like you said, you can't really advertise it. It's not really a new feature to the product. Like, we're going to support a future fork that we don't know about yet. And yet at the same time, as soon as it happens, they're going to want their money. Bach, more to add?
I just want to add that a lot of users are asking about a stance, an official stance right now, and we still haven't released one because a lot of things can change, because it's going to happen at the end of this month. We're still at the beginning of October. A lot of things can change until then, with implementation of 2x, with replay protection, if it's going to exist or not. So we would like to ask our users to wait a little bit, give us a little bit more time to clear out our stance.
I did see a Coinbase announcement this morning. Coinbase isn't even sure how they're going to name the two coins, which I find terrifying. Bitcoin.com, of course everyone knows, owned by Roger Ver, he came out on GitHub and he said, at least in his opinion, he's going to list the 2x coin as Bitcoin with the ticker symbol BTC. Which would be a horrible confusion, and I think open them up to a lot of potential legal liability, as that might not be the actuality. Yeah.
Generally, we would like to have for any new forks, we suppose that every serious fork should have its own replay protection and change the address format, because a lot of people underestimate issues and problems with people sending coins cross chains.
That's been a big problem with Bcash, because Bcash has the same address format as Bitcoin. They could have changed the beginning. I mean, Litecoin had it originally, but they changed it to L or something on the front. Yeah, it really seems like a responsibility to developers to have replay protection and then to have a different address format, so we don't have this nightmare where users send their money to the wrong address, they get confused, then developers have to essentially waste their time, right, to unravel those addresses. Sometimes it's worth it. You sent several thousand. Sometimes it's $10. It's not that worth it. But
so in the end, I am really happy that Bitcoin Cash added replay protection a few days before the launch.
Yep.
And in the same way, it was not definitive answer, or we didn't have a definitive answer since the launch, if it will be here or not. And I see a similar problem with the 2x. If they will launch without replay protection, it will be a real mess for the customers and for us as well.
And going forward with politics, did Slushpool or Trezor, did they sign the 2x agreement, the New York agreements? Were you involved in that at all?
We have been asked, but I declined because the paper was like a political stance, or how to say,
Sure.
and I understood that there are many ways how this can be interpreted. So as a programmer myself, I declined to sign something which can be misused, basically. Yeah.
And obviously you're an early Bitcoiner, so why don't you go ahead and make the audience cry and tell them how early you got into Bitcoin and how did you hear about it to start with?
I started in Bitcoin in 2010. I heard about Bitcoin first time in April from Zuko because of my I was following his projects about
Giacomo Zucco or the Zcash Zucco?
ZK Zuko.
Okay.
Yeah. And I became active in October 2010.
Wow, that's fantastic.
All
And
right,
then,
so-
go ahead, Tom.
No, I was going to say, so when you hear about Bitcoin from people like Zuko that were in it before you, why do you think these people are now trying to like create a better version of Bitcoin, destroying all the value that you have and everything you've done up to that point, right? Because if Zcash succeeds, if Bitcoin fails, and I know my life savings go to zero. So why would those people all of a sudden hate Bitcoin and want to do something that would actually be its competitor?
Well, Zcash is one of the coins where I don't have a problem with its existence, because they are trying to add some new features directly to the blockchain, which is not easy to add to the Bitcoin, which I see as a conservative way of running blockchain. So I'm not too much into altcoins myself, but to be honest, Zcash is one of the interesting project for me. So I'm not afraid that Zcash will ruin Bitcoin in any way. I think it can coexist without any problem, as a crypto space is expanding faster than anything else on the earth.
Well, right, and I'm generally critical. I'm not as critical of altcoins as I am of ICOs, but sticking with being critical of altcoins, since Trezor did add altcoin storage as well. The way I see it now is people always, cheerlead Bitcoin with it's only 21 million Bitcoin. I mean, you can't have these governments just printing money and creating money out of thin air. Bitcoin only has 21 million.
Yeah.
But does Bitcoin really has 21 million? If you have 100 altcoins, people believe would be viable in the future. So isn't the crypto space inflating even faster than the fiat system if you're a believer that altcoins have a reason for existence?
Yeah, there's still be just 21 million Bitcoins. Yeah, and I can happily ignore any other altcoin in the space, and my Bitcoins are not affected.
I completely agree. And then how do you feel about ICOs?
Well, depends. And I think that most of them are scams. But generally it may be a more modern way of crowdfunding if there is some real project behind it. So generally I think most of them are scams, but there are some exceptions.
And then to go back into your history, how did you raise funds originally for the Trezor idea, for the Slushpool idea? Did you just kind of start out, or maybe your early Bitcoiner is already ready, but just curious about that.
Yeah. Originally, we tried to go over Kickstarter to get some awareness about the product and to get some marketing for free, basically.
Sure.
And in the end, we have found that the Kickstarter is not really happy about any Bitcoin project. They didn't tell it directly. They were postponing the project and oh please add this and that. Then we were waiting like 2-3 weeks to any response. So we decided to stop the effort and go with Bitcoin crowdfunding. So we did some pre-sale, not with tokens.
No tokens.
And just the pre-order and we marketed it over Bitcoin Talk and all these alt platforms and so on.
Sure.
And it worked basically.
And you were able to make the Trezor devices and then send them out, and then everyone was happy, right?
Yes. Yeah. Originally, we set it in a Bitcoin. We quote the Trezor for 1 Bitcoin, which was
a good deal.
These days, it was around $100.
Oh.
It was in 2013, if I remember well, and then the price started to climbing up.
Sure.
The Mt. Gox went crazy, and so people were talking. Okay, we don't think the $1,000 for Trezor is okay.
I remember that.
Yeah. After a long of discussions, we have changed the pricing in a fiat, but we are afraid to don't scam the original customers who paid one Bitcoin. But in the end, most of them understood. So we can't bind it to Bitcoin forever.
Well, and I know from my own experience, it's a great device. I've got my Bitcoin on there. It's hidden somewhere. The other half is hidden somewhere else. And it's really great. I always encourage people at home to hold their own keys. And that's why we're so happy to have CryptoHWWallet.com as our sponsor for this conference, because it's just such a simple idea to promote to people. Like, you should be your own bank. You should hold your own keys, have a Trezor or a Ledger or any of the other hardware wallet devices. And it's just so much safer and so much more of what Bitcoin's actually about. People are excited about ETFs, and I'm excited about the potential of people having their retirement funds in Bitcoin. But at the same time, it's just another middleman. It's another third party. And if something goes wrong, they could take all your Bitcoins. Whereas if you have your own security and your physical security, we've been doing for hundreds of thousands of years with bank vaults and safe deposit boxes, and even just obscurity. If you hide it in a, somewhere no one will find it, no one will find it. And you can do that on your own with a Trezor wallet. And you guys are also a sponsor of this conference, so we wanted to thank you. You're a local Czech company, and we just want to promote that idea, and thank you for sponsoring the conference as well. Tone, do you have any more questions, or do you have any more things to announce?
No, that's it. You guys feel free to announce. When is the next generation Trezor might be out?
Even a time frame was good.
Yeah. We will launch pre-order for the first batch pretty soon, and the plan for the delivery is in this year, so in few months.
Very cool. And then we want to, of course, give you something from our sponsor. We have these little CryptoHWWallet.com. These are Trezor leather cases. It's a genuine leather. We got a brown one and a black one. If you prefer a different color, you can check it out, but it comes in a little dust-free case.
Do you have one of those yet?
I already have one. I have more Trezors.
More Trezors, yeah.
Plenty
and
of
you can just, put them right in there. It's
I think it could fit in right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, put it right in right now.
Test it right now.
See, that's a good company man. He's got the product right with him right there. So let's see how it fits. Oh, fits perfectly. And there it is, the finished project, a Trezor in a case. So thanks so much, guys, for being on the show, and we look forward to the Trezor 2.0. And Joseph, do you want to come in? Or?
Oh, yeah. Well, let me see.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
I was just going to add that thank you guys for having us here, and thank you for coming to Prague. I hope that you enjoyed the conference as much as we did.
It's been great, and we hope to come back again next year, because it's just been a really fun event. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joseph.
Thank you for all the audiences with WCN. Obviously, Trezor, our best supplier for wallets. Oh, am I not able to see you?
Where's the other people?
Just a few added words that we still had a coupon for the leather cases that's going on ending today. That's WCN 20 off.
Yep.
So if you guys want to order this leather case, it's still available. The coupon will still be valid till midnight, the 8th, the cutoff. That's only for Trezor because this is a Trezor event. And it's really a pleasure meeting you guys. And you guys actually have made a tremendous amount of contribution to the community. and I'm sure everybody, we have a lot of customers that really love your products. There's absolutely no negative comments about it. So we're expecting to find the Trezor too. I hope I can get one soon.
Yeah.
So we can make a Trezor leather case for the Trezor.
Definitely have to make a new leather case and have the new touchscreen. That sounds really good.
Exactly. So guys out there, keep your crypto safe by having a Trezor, a must tool that you need to have in order to keep your crypto. Peace of mind here. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much for being on the show, guys.
Thank you.